edition of the Picking Downs podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and Peebush. How you fellas doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's my birthday today, turning 29.
Oh.
Man, I'm hitting the prime years of NBA, but I never made it, man. So could be in my championship
Nice.
right now, but unfortunately, the basketball guys did not grace me with the skill needed. But man, they've graced a lot of these players in this league, man, and we've seen a couple insane performances as of late. Some by role players, man. We got a great game from OG Anunoby. I know he's not a role player, but he's a tertiary option. And then there's Nikola Jokic, man, dropping 40 and 20, 5 assists. Unbelievable. Zoo and I were going back and forth last night, man. This guy might be one of the most dominant players in NBA history.
Absolutely. We saw some iconic, especially last night, some iconic games, some iconic endings, and some upsets. Like we saw some upsets in the last couple games. And as far as the game sevens, kind of surprised by one of the outcomes. Like pretty surprised that the games weren't super competitive, but the better team won and got the deal done. So for those game sevens, it reveals your true character. It reveals your true character. You see the teams that quit and you see the teams that fight. So my goodness, we got a franchise over there that I'm like, that was an embarrassing. Absolute embarrassing showcase for game seven.
We're gonna get into those game sevens in a second. Like I said, the NBA playoffs, now that we're in the semis, it's a lot of upsets that happen. We're gonna talk about that later as well. But yeah, let's go back just a little bit. A couple days ago, we had 2 game sevens that happened with Golden State winning and the Nuggets winning their game 7. Wanted to ask the guys just their thoughts on those game sevens. What was the most disappointing aspect of those game sevens? And Peebush, you can go ahead and start us off.
Man, Clippers, talk about a meltdown, man. I mean, I think we're all going to agree here. Warriors taking down the Rockets. Rockets fought valiantly, man. And we got to shout out Fred VanVleet, but then
let's go.
Let's go. He heated up. Yeah, I got to give it up,
and he forced game 7, and then he cooled right back off, and we realized why he is the way he is. So that one didn't surprise me as much. I know we were all pretty high on the Clippers. Sean, you might have leaned Nuggets last week when we talked about it, when it was sitting 3-2. But man, just this franchise is cursed, man. I mean, like they've tried literally everything. The only thing that they didn't try was to ride it out with SGA, man, and that might have been the best decision. And instead, they moved on for the win now when they weren't really in a win now situation. Paid a lot of players over the years. I mean, a lot of us thought they should have won back in the CP3 Blake Griffin days, or at least made a finals potentially. Yep. And then they've just kind of been building on teams since then, just kind of throwing puzzle pieces together and hoping that they all fit. And to be honest, at the end of this season, I know we talk about the end of the NBA season, but in the West, it's a little different than the East. They were all fighting for playoffs. Man, this team was hot coming into the playoffs. I had them as a dark horse to come out of the West. I thought it was a decent bet, but the Nuggets, man, the sad part to me is Nikola Jokic of the starting 5 was the worst offensive player in that game. I mean, it was Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun, obviously Jamal Murray. I mean, everyone else was playing well. Russell Westbrook, we've talked about him having an unbelievable playoff so far. That Jokic didn't even force him to put up a 40-20 game to win that game. And I know the Clippers kind of laud themselves on being defensive this year. Ty Lue is a damn good coach, but James Harden, Norman Powell, come on, man. If Derrick Jones Jr. is your second leading scorer behind Kawhi Leonard, you are not winning a game 7, let alone any game, especially in the playoffs. So I feel bad for Kawhi. I mean, he's obviously already got his. He's got his championships. He's got his solo championship, in my opinion, coming out of Toronto. But James Harden, man, he's once again, we can go back to that heliocentric basketball. I don't know.
No. It's not heliocentric basketball. That's stopping.
Not with the Clippers. Not with the Clippers anymore. But I'm just saying, he's not. This might have been his last chance, in my opinion, to make a run.
I don't know if I have to psychoanalyze James Harden, but something about James Harden in these do or die games, he just turns into a pumpkin. Yeah. An absolute pumpkin. It's not just missing. Okay, missing shots, it happens. Like
3 of 8. Yeah,
you go 6 for 20 or whatever. Like stuff happens. But the lack of aggressiveness in this game, like I'm getting PTSD flashbacks. I don't know if you guys remember this. The Philly series,
Sixers,
against the Boston Celtics, when they were up, they were in control. They were 1 quarter away from advancing, and then they choked the game away. In Game 7, James Harden barely shot the basketball, barely even looked at the basketball. And then reporters asked him, like, "What's going on? Like, Like, why aren't you shooting ball? He's like, oh, the coach, like, I didn't get the ball. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're the point guard. You're the point guard. Like, what do you mean you didn't get the basketball? You start with the basketball, and then you just pass it and didn't even like the basket. And we see this lack of accountability of this man. Like, he skipped the press conference, the post-game press conference. He just ditched it. Because people are going to know exactly what they're going to be like, oh, another game, another big game, another big moment, great opportunity to advance. What happened? You wet the bed. You absolutely wet the bed again. And I like Harden as a player overall, but his lack of accountability, especially in the playoffs, like his playoff, this is why I can't compare like a Luka Doncic ever to a James Harden. Because if Luka has an offense, he's going to go like 10 for 30. Like he's aggressive. He never lacks confidence. James Harden, like when his shot's not going, he's like airballing floaters. He's missing threes, like short on threes, and he just shoots less than 10 shots a game.
To be fair, let's just say he tried a lot harder in his Rockets days and before that. I think this has been more.
They almost beat Golden State. They just that game.
Yeah,
they just
this is more of a post Rockets issue for James Harden, but it is.
But pervasive. No, but there were games. I don't know if you guys remember.
Of course, yeah.
Against the Clippers a couple years back, the big Josh Smith game when they came back from that game. I don't know if you guys remember. Corey Brewer, James Harden in a clinching game. He was a non-factor, an absolute non-factor, and the role players saved him. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember this game a couple years back against San Antonio Spurs. Yeah. They had a lot of injuries. James Harden had one of the worst games ever, and the other team was without all their firepower. So there were situations where he got unlucky, his teammate got injured. But when the other team gets unlucky with injuries, he never capitalized.
Can't step on the throat. He can't step on the throat.
Like, he has those games where he's cooking and he looks awesome, dropping 40 points. Like, he has had big playoff games.
Yes.
But I think mentally up here, he's just not there. Like, there's some guys that are mentally tough that could respond to not playing well and come back and bounce back. Like Steph Curry, for example.
Yeah.
Horrible first half. He had one basket, one three-pointer. And what do? He dropped almost 20 points in the quarter.
In the fourth quarter.
In the game 7 scenario. Like, it could have easily been like, oh, Steph shrinks in a moment against the Thompson twin. Like,
but when he started cooking, though, they was up like 14. Steph, let's chill out. Steph gets, like, I will say he ain't Harden, but Steph ain't this huge clutch guy. Steph is always really at his best when his team has got a big lead.
Because he can take shots.
When it's close, Steph makes a lot of. I saw it at the end of the regular season, which was the reason why they didn't make the playoffs. He had 2 late turnovers, and nobody talks about it.
It's a turnover problem.
Yeah, like, he has a turnover. He does do that in the clutch a lot, but it's not hard.
He doesn't have that shot confidence problem where he's just not even taking shots. Like, if you take your normal shot, you got to take shots, especially on this roster where Kawhi's the number 1 option and James Harden's the number 2 guy, and like as you mentioned, like you got Derrick Jones Jr. scoring. Like come on, man! That's crazy. Like you're letting your teammates down, and this guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer guy. And if you look at his regular season resume, you can make an argument he is the top 3 shooting guard of all time. You can make an argument based on regular. He
gets compared to Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, his regular season objectively has more accolades than a Dwayne Wade. Like, he got an MVP, he got more All NBA first teams.
Yeah,
but in the playoffs, and we've seen it time and time again. Now it's like it's not a one-time thing. Like, you have a bad moment and it happens, you bounce back. LeBron James had bad moments. Magic Johnson had bad moments. But this keeps repeatedly happening. Like, repeatedly. Like, I'm like, bro, like, you cannot take less than 10 shots in a game-clinching game. Like, you just cannot.
It's kind of sad because, like, to your point, Zoo, he's had opportunities, like very big opportunities, especially in Houston. Obviously, 6-man days in OKC, had a chance there. They were young. No one really expected them to win that series. But when he became the main player, man, a lot of people thought that he was championship contending, and he truly was. I mean, they should have taken down the Warriors in that series for sure. But I wanted to ask you, what other player would you put on the same, like, because you said mentality. Some players have that mentality of, I'm just going to do anything that I can to win. And then there's other guys who just kind of, they're almost indifferent. It almost comes off as indifference sometimes. I was thinking the first person that came to mind, and I don't think you can equate them success-wise or accolades-wise, but very similar mentally, is Carmelo Anthony. That's like the only equivalent that I can think of. And yeah, maybe Carmelo didn't have as much of a chance to get to the finals as James Harden did, but they were both unbelievable offensive talents. And they never got over the hump. And I think part of that had to do with how they approached the game mentally. I don't know. That's just a thought that I had there. I think Harden's still a better player overall.
Oh yeah, he's definitely better than Melo. But I got to give credit for Melo for this. Like when he was in the playoffs, like even when he was like not shooting the best field goal percentage, he was still jacking up 25. He was aggressive and he never lacked confidence in his shot because this guy's just a born scorer. Like James, this is a man that averaged 36 points a game in the modern era. Like you think how ridiculous that is? Like this guy got 60-point triple doubles. He redefined like this era of like isolation basketball, the step back three. Like he that's his move. That's a signature move. Like he influenced
the no call travels. The no call travels.
Yeah, he influenced this game. Like he's one of the most influential players. And it's just sad to see that this guy is not going to get a championship. And a lot of it is because of his fault. Because he's been on phenomenal rosters. He's played on Hall of Fame like caliber teammates and had great championship level rosters. And obviously this Clippers team, they had a chance. Like they had a really, really good roster, but he obviously couldn't elevate to that and even that all-star level in the Game 7 clinch. The game before he was really, really good, but in the Game 7 shrinks away. Like I'm just like, man, like
it's kind of a shame, man.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, I played against the dynasty. Like I'm like, okay, that's true. You lost to that Warriors, but you had a lot of shots afterwards. You had shots afterwards, especially in Philly. Especially in Philly, and now the Clippers, you got that opportunity again. Like the Nets was more injury based, but you had multiple shots post Warriors dynasty of at least making deep, like at least go to the conference finals.
Do you think Kawhi? Do you think Kawhi is like heading towards retirement?
Nah, Kawhi Leonard is just Kawhi Leonard.
3 years from now, but
Kawhi Leonard is still he's a really, really good player, but the playmaking ability is just not there.
Yeah.
Like when Kawhi Leonard, like you need your de facto superstar to be primary scorer and primary creator. Like that's what Harden's there for. And Kawhi Leonard, he's not a playmaker. He's never been a playmaker. So he couldn't elevate his teammates like
Harden could.
Yeah. When Harden could in his prime, but
to be fair, he was distributing the ball well in game 7.
Yeah, he's a great passer.
12 assists, right?
Yeah, he's always been a great playmaker, especially when he's
aggressive.
Yeah,
to take 8 shots as the second option,
that cannot happen.
No,
it cannot happen. It's embarrassing.
And the worst part is they started the game well. They were winning in the first
quarter. Yeah, first quarter. Really,
it wasn't even like they were up at half and they collapsed. They collapsed exiting and entering in from the first to second quarter. You don't see that often. Kind of the opposite of like the Celtics-Knicks game we saw, where the Celtics were up big at half and then they imploded. Usually you don't see that from quarter over quarter before a half. So I was pissed, man. I wanted a better game 7 on the Clippers, man. It was just kind of demoralizing.
Yeah, it's I fell for it. I watched that Golden State Clippers game and I was just like, this team looks super complete. Everybody's clicking on all cylinders. Zubac, I was just like, they're probably going to be a dark horse in the Western Conference. And I was like, this is going to be a team that I think if they can get, obviously get past this first round matchup, they have some future matchups that I like them in. And it's just the same sad story. I think maybe with Harden, it's just the only thing I could muster up is he's just maybe overthinking because it's game 7 and he's trying to play perfectly. But the aggression, it would make more sense if it was a player who wasn't as good as him. Like maybe say he's a 4th option on the team and he wasn't aggressive. Then it kind of maybe matches up because it's like, oh, well, he's only shooting 10 times a game. So if he's shooting 8 times a game, it's not as noticeable. But like you said, Harden is a distributor, but his thing is he can score when need be. And it just, I don't know. It's you get in your own head. Now I do, and people gonna think it's fake, and it's why would you believe that? But I do think it's because the Clippers are just cursed. I just think some teams are just
honestly
that is their lot. Like it's a Lakers town. The Clippers can win 9 championships in a row. It won't matter. So maybe that has something to do with it. They got a new arena. They're trying to do like a whole, I guess like let's just say a whole different types of things where we could make new jerseys and do alternate stuff, like whatever, make the tickets lower. Maybe that's just their lot in life as a Clippers fan. So that may have something to do with it, but it's hard to defend Harden, man, because everybody knows even at this late stage in his career, he's still a guy who can get you buckets. And you would think in a game 7, he could get to a point where just his aggressiveness is going to maybe – because even with your shots not falling, if you keep shooting, eventually, if Kawhi's doing what he's supposed to do and other guys on the team are doing what they're supposed to do, you're still keeping maybe the game within reach, and then your shots will start falling in the 4th and you win the game. So I don't know. I just think maybe it's overthinking. Maybe it's overthinking, and it's a situation he just has got to overcome because it is tough when, maybe the first 2 times it happened to him, and it's like, well, obviously this is not going to happen the next 18 times I'm in the playoffs, but it just continues to keep going, and now it's just a huge
snowball,
snowball effect, and it's just now it's in his head. So, it's tough, but I mean, it's the Clippers, man, and I feel for the bait because I've been one where, of course, they haven't been healthy, but even still, it's just I'll never pick them again, ever. They could get, name your superstar. I don't care who it is in the league right now. They're just like, they get a free pass to just go to the Clippers. I'm not picking the Clippers because it's just, they're not built for it. No. One quick note on Houston. I'm not mad at the fight they had. It's just, it's the difference between teams that's been there before and teams who haven't. And I know everybody's beating up on Jalen Green. He's just been heckling Jod, and he just hasn't been a person who's been consistently, I guess, I don't even know if he's been aggressive or not, but he just hasn't been good on the offensive end. I think this is just going to be the situation he can learn from. I'm not the type of person where I think he should be like traded and they're doing that. Now, if they bring in a guy like a KD or whoever, maybe he's part of that package. He's probably gone. But if they don't do that, I think he still has a chance to continue to get better because he has the skill set to get his own shot and do whatever on the court. I just think he's a little bit in his head. And if you're going to play with Ime as your head coach, you're going to have to be able to guard and do all the other stuff. So I think this is just kind of a learning lesson for him. It was just tough for that moment to come in Game 7. But, the Rockets this year, they you could tell in that Game 7, at least in the first half, you could tell they have a lot of good pieces. Like if him and Amen and Segun are still that core and they're still there, they're going to have a lot of deep playoff runs, I think. So, but we kind of all expected, unless you're a Houston Rockets fan, that Golden State was going to pull that out. So, Game 7s are tricky. They're tricky. Like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I think it's a lot of nerves. So,
definitely, especially this
exhaustion.
Exactly.
Yeah, that too.
Exhaustion and mentally right now, this team is really young. Like this Rockets team, they go from one of the youngest team in the playoffs versus one of the oldest team with Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond, who these guys are.
Buddy's not young either, Buddy.
Buddy actually balled out about it. Buddy played like
man.
Like,
he went blacktop 2K level, man.
Yeah, Buddy was feeling.
And that's why it feels like those type of players are the guys that and that's not to say Harden still needs to play better. But it feels like those type of guys, like the Buddy Hield types, are the guys that usually kind of have remember when Draymond, when I think it was Game 7 when LeBron played at the
Draymond was just hitting a bunch of threes, going crazy. Yeah, he was crazy from three.
Yeah, because you know what? I think the role players know there is no pressure on me. I just can go ball. Like it is another game for me. The pressure is on the superstars like Bron and Steph. Like they got to perform.
The Ty Jeromes of the world.
Take crazy shots, And two is like, I think sometimes teams, like if you played each other 6 times before that Game 7, you kind of know who are the guys. So like whoever is on the 7th or 8th man on the bench, if somebody gets in a foul trouble, he can come in and just go off because like nobody has a game plan for him. He's super loose. Like, and he's thinking in his head, if I hit 2 or 3 threes, now I'm kind of maybe the person who's going to be, everybody's talking about after Game 7. So it's just kind of a lot of nerves and different types of stuff. And I think Harden's just in his head. He'll never admit it. And to your point, him not going to the press conference just kind of signaled it's in his head. It's in his head. And it's kind of, it's just tough. Because if Harden was just, if all those games he was bad in, if he just had half of those games, we would look at him in a totally different light. If he had like half of those games he was ass, and then the other half he was like, oh, he stepped up, he would be looked at totally different.
Absolutely.
But that's why like you can't make that Wade argument. Like before, like when that year he was averaging 30 or whatever and he won MVP, I was like, okay, I'll entertain it. But then once I started watching the playoffs, I was like, I can't do it.
Because he's like the most, I would say, bipolar basketball player ever in the play. Because he has those games
talent,
where he goes off for like 45 and 10. Like, oh my God, this dude is unbelievable. Like he looks like an MVP. And then he has these games where I'm like 2 for 11. Like, what is going on? Like, these games cannot happen in these game clutching moments. So it keeps happening. But my goodness,
I can't get over. I'm just because and the only reason why I have this up right now is because I saw it on TikTok and I just saved it because it goes through like the maturation of the player as they came into the league and what they are now. He 36, 7 like that. He was insane that year.
Like 44% from the field and 36% 3-point. Like he was God mode.
44%.
Like crazy low number, like percentage, but like that's 36 points is just
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't go.
It's one of the best regular seasons of all time. Like putting up like consecutive 40-point games like it's nothing. Like
Russell Westbrook's triple-double was probably the only thing that might top that. And I know Jokic too, but
but just guard-wise, like if you're looking at like, from a guard, like Jokic, I think for big men he's
Russ
in terms of but him and Russ definitely were.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to OKC, man. They know how to find them. But
Sam Presti,
they just know how to find them.
Executive of the year. Executive of the year.
Once again.
Oh yeah, he did win that, didn't he?
Yep.
I mean, that's a layup. Come on, man. Like,
of course,
he honest to God, like outside of Wemby going crazy next year, like he's going to probably win it every year. Their team is whatever. But speaking of them, they had a little bit of a mishap. Them and a couple other teams that were higher seeds last night. So I wanted to ask the guys, out of all of those higher seeds that lost last night or the day before, which one are you the most concerned about? And Zoo, I'm gonna give you the reins on this one.
Oh my goodness! Last night was a beautiful night of basketball, and it could have ended more perfectly than that Oklahoma City game. Because right now, this Denver Nuggets thing, they vibing right now. They are absolutely vibing right now, and like the Knicks Celtics, Celtics missed 45. Like they missed 45.
That's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, so
like taking 63s.
Yeah, they took.
Yeah,
that
is insane.
63 like that. Like when I say that, it just sounds like a fake stat. Like missing that many threes in a basketball game, it's a record. It's never been done in the history of basketball, and it went to overtime, and the Knicks were able to squeeze it out. So, as a New Yorker right now, good for the Knicks. They got it done the game one. They needed to get one to make the series competitive. They got one, so they accomplished their mission. So hopefully now it could be at least a 6 or 7 game series. But right now, this Nuggets team right now, as I mentioned, this is the battle of the potential. SGA is going to win MVP this series. They're going to announce the MVP. It's always in the second round. They're going to announce MVP. But then we're going to play against he's playing against the real MVP in Nikola Jokic. I'm telling you right now, Nikola Jokic has elevated to another level this year. And this guy's won multiple MVPs. He is now coaching this team. Because right now, this Adelman guy, he's just sitting and watching right now. He's never coached an NBA roster in his entire life. He's an
doing
absolute.
Okay.
You got Joker. That's what he's doing. He got Joker,
but he's letting him have it.
But you see Joker right now.
Like, he got his hands in his pocket walking around.
Yeah. You see Joker. You see Joker right now. Absolutely, he's coaching this roster. He's yelling at his teammates. He's shouting at Michael Porter Jr. What are you doing? Like
he's got one arm, man. Come on, he's got one arm.
I don't care. See, that's what Jokic. Like we see the Jokic, the nonchalant guy, horse guy. No, this guy's a competitor. This guy wants it. You see that passion out there where he is yelling at his teammates and he's like, "Oh, my teammates told me to be more aggressive." 40 and 20. That's what he does. Okay, I'm being more aggressive. Last game I had an off game, but my teammates got it done for me. This game, I'm going to take it personally because this Thunder team is legit. This is historically one of the best teams in the regular season ever. Like historically, based on point differential and based on the number ones, they were all on pace to win 70 games. That is a historic mark, like almost winning 70 games, pretty much just breezing through the regular season and blowing every team out. And you got this Nuggets team where coming into the playoffs, kind of disheveled.
Yeah,
just fired their coach. You got bang injuries, a Jamal Murray injured. People are banged up. Michael Porter Jr. not 100%. Aaron Gordon was banged up all year. So you got all these variables. You got Russell Westbrook doing Russell Westbrook things, looking awesome once and looking like a buffoon, missing layups in the clutch. So you see all these you got Peyton Watson. This guy sometimes looks like the best defender. And offense, he sometimes looks like one of the worst players I've ever seen. So you got all these variables right now, but you got that constant, the Joker. 30, 10, and 10 any given night. And what he did against this one seed right now was absolutely sensational. Like the only knock I got on the Joker right now is I don't know why in the playoffs this dude's missing a lot of free throws. Like for a guy that's consistently an 80% free throw shooter,
that's true.
He is bricking a lot of free throws. And these close games,
man.
Yeah, I don't care. You gotta make I don't care. You gotta make these free throws. Like historically, like this
42 minutes.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Yeah, he has to play every minute because you know what happens. The plus minus when Joker is off the court and DeAndre Jordan is on the court. It is an absolute disaster. So Joker got to play every minute, but step up the free throws. But right now he's absolutely killing it. And this guy is playing at this is the pantheon guy right now. Like, it's not even close between him and LeBron James, right? Like even current LeBron James, it's not even close. Yeah. Like right now, he's playing at a level that is like prime LeBron, prime Kobe, like prime Jordan. He is playing at that level. Like, his aspect of dominating every little aspect of the game is fucking unbelievable. And I don't know if you guys caught this play, but when this is the last play of the game, when Alex Caruso was trying to inbound the basketball, Joker doing everything. He grabbed the ball before Caruso was passing the ball.
Yes.
He got all sweaty, so then Caruso would slip passing the ball in. Like,
why? Okay, all right. The ref gave him the ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, they don't do that for anybody, man.
I know. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you see Joker trying everything possible to try to get this job done. And right now you see Joker freaking telling teammates where to go on defense, force the ball to Chet Holmgren, and what happened? Chet Holmgren bricked 2 free throws.
He's a good free throw shooter too.
75%. Not a great free throw shooter, but he's a
for a big guy.
3 out of 4 though. That's 3 out of 4.
Don't get it into the guy SGA who is money from the free throw line. Like, get it to a guy where putting the young guy's fingers, feel the sweat going down his neck, and you see him choke those free throws. So Nikola Jokic just playing at a level where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man, have mercy. Like, he's not going to win MVP, and I get it because they got sympathy MVP for SGA. His daddy saying, "Oh, it's his time to get one." Okay, sure, give him the regular season award. Joker's going for the big one, the Finals MVP right now, because. My God!
All right, let's relax.
All he does, he needs his teammates to step up because I'm still worried about the surrounding pieces. Porter Jr. injured, he can't play right now. Like, Porter Jr. is injured.
Yeah, he shouldn't even be in the lineup.
He's been a complete non-factor, and he's making a lot of money to be a non-factor. But Aaron Gordon is playing that complimentary star right now, and oh my God, this guy has 2 game winners in the playoffs right now. He's playing unbelievable. That 3-point shot, he shot it with confidence. And the warehouse for Christian Braun for getting the rebound, just pushing it. Not getting into Joker, not getting Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook pushing. I got a little nervous, but you got a great look for Aaron Gordon for that.
So is this a Jokic segment, or who are you concerned about? Like, he's talking about Jokic. Are you
he's concerned
they
about
didn't lose?
I'm concerned about OKC.
I'm not at all.
Really? He got to play the best player in the world right now.
It took that game to win by 2 points. They pulled to Florida. They led for what, one game minute all of the game, and they snuck out. Florida's not doing that in a 7-game series. Jalen Williams shot 5 for 20.
That's the key factor.
We've seen that before.
We have seen that before, and they still almost won that game. They fouled incorrectly. They missed free throws. They missed dunks. Those are things that, like, you can fix that so easily. Mm-hmm. And it took Joker to drop 40 and 20. Jamal Murray had an off game. Aaron Gordon had a great game. So did Russell Westbrook. But in a 7-game series, I know Joker's determined to prove that he's better than SGA. That's kind of what it's coming off as, and he is. And I'll agree with you on that. Not even close.
It's not close.
100%. But this team, this team is deep.
Yeah, Alex Caruso is awesome.
And let's be honest, I think they learned a little something of how Jokic shooting under 60% is what you need to ask for. Hartenstein played him very well. Let's be honest. He was playing extremely well defensively on him. And I know he can't last all game. He's going to get in foul trouble. Joker's able to slow down the game. But I just think the Thunder are going to pull it together, man. They're just a better overall team. I think the Nuggets are going to get tired. Aaron Gordon's going to have an off game. I'm not as concerned.
Aaron Gordon's not going to shoot 50% from 3.
And there you go. That too. So, I mean, it's the same reason, I guess, my pick is actually the Celtics, and I'm going to explain to you why. They don't know what to do when they're not hitting threes. Are you serious, man? If you're shooting 25% from 3, 25%, man, you can talk about analytics all you want that it's going to give you a better chance to win. That's fine. But it's not like the Knicks shot that well either.
They did shoot 46 from 3. 46 from 3.
Okay, what did they shoot from the field?
42.
There you go, there.
42.
That's the difference right there. And they shot more free throws, right? That's
way more free throws. A little Hacker Robinson going on.
But Brunson did not have a great game. Mikal Bridges, shout out his defense, man. He made some unbelievable plays. That steal was great. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Derek White. What did they combine for? I wrote it down somewhere. Where was it? 20 of 61 from the field, man. I think that also has to do with the fact that the Knicks are actually a pretty darn good defensive team. I know Jalen Brunson,
especially with Mitchell Robinson back as the anchor.
Especially
He's
with
been
Mitchell
a great
Robinson.
addition after his injury.
Exactly. I do think that they need to get Cat more involved. I just think the Celtics. I know it's one game, and we're overreacting on any one of these 3 series that we're talking about here, but that a little bit of a sophomore slump, man, coming off a championship. I could just see it happening. I don't know.
Hungry.
They're a little concerning to me. And it's the sense of if your shot's not falling, what do they always tell you to do? Get to the free throw line or try and get a bucket inside. Stop shooting. Just see the ball go in and then maybe go back to your 3-point shot. And then it just – I don't know if it's Mazzulla. To your point, Joe Mazzulla ball, he didn't change the rotations up. Yeah. But Jason Tatum absolutely choked in the fourth quarter. And once again, this is a game one.
I've seen that before.
I'm not
7 of 23.
Here's my thing. I think the Cavs are going to win their series. I think the Thunder are going to win their series. I think the Celtics will probably win their series, but I am losing faith in their ability to easily get to the finals, even in the Eastern Conference. I think that's where I'm more concerned about this team. Because if you're going to shoot 25% from the 3-man, you got to have something in your back pocket. Like, come on, not even one. I know Porzingis is out with illness, whatever. That's fine.
That was a huge loss.
Huge loss. I get it. Yes, absolutely. And he's questionable for game 2 from what I understand at this point. But, man, this Knicks team is not to be messed around with. They have a lot of options that they can go to. They have Brunson. OG Anunoby came up absolutely massive, arguably the MVP of that game.
Yeah, especially the defense.
Especially the defense. Exactly. And if you can keep Tatum, Brown, and White, if you can hold 2 of them to bad games, I think the Knicks are in every single game this series. For me, about the Thunder, I just think they're deeper. I don't think they'll get as tired. I just think what Jokic has to do to beat this team is he can do it.
He needs 3 more. He just needs 3 more. That's the thing. He has to play perfect basketball.
He has to play perfect basketball, and I just think the Thunder are going to outlast them. So I'm not as concerned about the Thunder. The Cavs, I am curious to see the Mobley and Garland situation.
Yeah, they have a lot of injuries right now.
A lot of injuries right now. That, as Sean mentioned before we went live, this starting lineup tonight was not that good, but you got Donovan Mitchell taking 21 shots through the third quarter at this point. So, I just think the Pacers, maybe Donovan Mitchell just wills them through this. But if Garland does miss enough time, this series could get interesting. But for me, I just didn't like how the Celtics played at all. I thought it was lazy basketball, and you can't be doing that, and you can't take it for granted just because maybe you handled this team throughout the year and in years past.
They did, and I think that's what most people's conclusion is because of how the regular season went. Exactly. But if you just look at it on paper, like nobody really talked about Mitchell Robinson. I don't know if he was in those games during the regular season.
He missed a lot of those games.
But also, too, if you just look at it on paper and you look at Anunoby and Mikal, like they are two-way players, and they should be able to match up with Brown and Tatum respectively and make life a little bit difficult for them. So if you're just looking at it from the surface, of course, if you watch the regular season, it's like, they're not going to do anything. But on the surface, it's like, hey, they're going to guard. And one thing we know about that is they're not going to come out because Thibodeau's going to have them out there the entire time. So that's who Tatum and Brown are going to see the entire time. The Celtics have always been this 3-point barrage team.
Of course.
I do agree, though. They have so many athletes that they shouldn't have to depend on that.
Right.
Like Brown and Tatum are 2 of the most athletic wings in the league. Why are you not going to the basket and getting fouls? Now, Brown, there's been some rumors like his knee is acting a little weird. Like, I mean, he looked fine last night, but people have said he has kind of been a little bit off with that. So maybe that's part of the reason why. But to your point, like Tatum, that fourth quarter, man, just like if he just goes to the basket a couple more times, the more than likely probably going to win the game. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll be concerned about the Celtics if it's the Knicks are up 10 and there's 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in game 2. Then I'll be like, okay, I think the Knicks might get this because the Knicks did what they're supposed to do. And
I'm getting flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks to the Lakers discussion we had like a couple weeks ago, man. I'll be concerned if in game 2, and then game 2 went all right.
I don't know, but see, the Celtics though is if they hit 4 more of those threes, they win the game probably. So it's like I'm not too concerned, but like I said, the Knicks did what they're supposed to do getting that split, and it might get spooky in the Garden because they're going to be fired up because nobody gave them a chance, and they come in, they 1-1, they're going to be fired up, and if they somehow go 2-0, it might go crazy in the Garden. So I don't know. We'll see. I actually think I'm a little bit more concerned about the Pacers, not Pacers, but the Cavs. Injuries aside, I just have done a really bad job of giving the Pacers credit. Their team, like we talk about OKC and like their team being deep, like the Pacers have a pretty deep team.
Yep.
And their star, Tyrese Halliburton, is the real point guard. And the thing about him is he makes big shots. I mean, you took on Giannis, who's one of my favorite players, off the dribble, got to the
that game
lane, got a layup.
I can't
like you got to give credit to that. Like credit has to be due. And I think for me, just me talking about me personally, I haven't really ever thought like, well, they only have one pseudo star, and the rest of the guys are kind of just like whatever players. But a lot of those guys who are the whatever players, they're like B+ players. So it's like the thing is they play very well as a team. Tyrese is not scared of the moment. And again, man, I love Donovan Mitchell, but if we're going to be on this whole, I'm going to chuck 35 shots and do whatever, like how he was doing in Utah, they won't win. Even if they get past the series, they won't get to the finals because that's not a recipe of success. And we've seen that story with him.
Yep.
So I'm a little bit more concerned that injuries would maybe make me a little eerie. I think they probably come back for, when they go to Indiana, but I don't know, just chucking Donovan Mitchell, and then you got Max Strus, and I mean they're killing right now.
Who is currently 1 for 12 right now?
Yeah, I mean they're up right now. So I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But I would say the Cavs I'm a little bit more concerned with because I do believe. Put it this way: if the Pacers were to get through this series, probably going to be my pick to go to the finals. I think they could get Boston or whoever.
Wow.
Because I think with Boston, people forget. Remember, they played them really tough last year.
Yeah, they did.
And to what Peebush's point when he was talking about like, I might be a little bit hangover. Who's going to be more motivated in that series? It's going to be the Pacers,
especially with all the hate that Halliburton's been getting for being
overrated, most overrated player.
I almost like that. I would love to see if they did beat the Cavs. Who like, I would be more confident, obviously, if it's the Knicks they played. But I don't know. Like, so you got big game Jalen Brunson and Tyrese. Like, that would be actually, and just for nostalgia purposes, like old Indiana Knicks rivalry, and you're, playing that in the conference finals, that would be nice for ratings.
Dude, they pull out a little Reggie Miller choke action in the Garden.
Yeah.
That'd be great, man.
I can see Tyrese do that.
Exactly.
He got the same body type. He likes skinny. He's skinny, man. He hits big threes.
Yeah.
I can easily see that. But especially with the Pacers, I really like the Pacers. And one guy that really impressed me always, Andrew Nembhard.
Oh, yeah.
I swear, every time I watch a Pacers game, all this guy does is hit big shots.
A smooth 20.
Like
smooth 20.
Like he elevates. Like in the regular season, it's kind of like a role player. But in the playoffs, he elevates. He's not putting up 20 points a game, but his stats go up across the board. He's shooting 50% in the playoffs from three. He hit some big rain. Those 3-pointers they hit pretty much iced the game in the game one. Like Andrew Nembhard seems to rise to the occasion.
And Neesmith's no scrub either. Like they have a solid starting five, and then they have 5 guys off the bench that they can play.
Yeah, they run the 5 out that can shoot threes.
Right.
Like they have 5, and they're not sacrificing defense because I think Turner's a good defender down there as a down the paint guy. So they're one of the rare teams that run 5 out. Yeah, 5 out for shooting. So this team's really, really deep. Like you guys still got McConnell off the bench, one of the best backup point guards in the NBA.
For sure.
Benedict Mathurin's a scorer, just a 6-man scorer type. So they got
Toppin flying. Yep.
Yeah, Toppin. Like you got a couple of very, very quality bench players. So shout out for Indiana for the roster they built. But
and their head coach is elite.
Yeah, Carlisle. Carlisle's a good coach.
But I just think, I've never been a huge Siakam fan. I mean, I know he's had big games and all that. Yeah. If they had like a slightly better star than Siakam
version of him,
this team could be very scary. Man, I don't know. They need to do something. They've made a lot of moves the last few years, but with the Halliburton and the Siakam.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pascal Siakam is that guy. He's a nice all-star kind of borderline.
Yeah,
all-star type.
He's a little bit of a Chris Middleton in him,
Yeah, borderline all-star guy. Borderline all-star.
Yeah. If they traded like Siakam, a pick, and like,
would you rather have Brandon Ingram, or would you rather have Siakam?
No,
kind of same.
Probably Siakam.
Siakam.
Because I think he could at least probably help on the defensive.
Zion. No.
Zion.
I love Zion, but
Zion with Halliburton.
I don't know, because an explosive wing to go with Halliburton, like on like alley oops and like just that would be something different. Like if you replace him with Siakam, and he was motivated, obviously, not like
they're both slashers at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Siakam is a slasher.
Siakam got a little more jump shot in him versus Zion's a Zion's a complete non-shooter.
Yeah, but Siakam can get bullied a little bit more than Zion can.
Yeah.
And Zion can do more bullying as well.
Oh yeah.
They could definitely add somebody. I don't know who it would be, but it would definitely need to be like a wing scorer.
Yeah.
I mean, if Paul George was like healthy, I don't know. Little homecoming.
Oh Jesus.
Little homecoming.
After this year, man, I think Paul George's All-Star days are over. Oh my Lord.
Back to podcast.
Over. Yeah, podcast P, man. It's podcast P now.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think, wrapping this up, I think the Pacers I've always underrated them, and I know it was a lot of injuries last year or whatever, but they got to the conference finals and they played Boston tough. They got swept and everybody's like, oh, Indiana, same old Indiana. They got
each
swept.
game was competitive. That's the thing. They were very competitive that series. It wasn't blowout.
And Tyrese is a baller, bro. He's earned like major respect for me. I think him going at Giannis, doing a bunch of stuff. Like I know he goes back and forth with Dame, but he's a dude. Like he's a dude. Like I think it's because he got a funky jump shot and he kind of got.
Still looks funny.
Everybody was like, "Oh, he got traded for De'Aaron Fox," or who did he get traded for? Who was
Sabonis.
it? Sabonis, yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, Sabonis was a better player at the time, but Tyrese has proven to be a top guard. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, if I had to rank it, I would say I'm least concerned about Boston, and then probably be OKC and then Pacers. But OKC, Jalen Williams he needs to figure something out because we all kind of understood.
Getting flashbacks.
I'm
getting flashbacks.
We need to shoot less.
He needs to be.
Why is he getting 20?
But he needs to be a dog because he's the guy. Like
he
can't be Caruso with 20 off the bench.
But take him down to like 15 until he gets himself back going, and give more shots to either SGA, give Caruso more minutes. I don't know, man. Chet needs to get more shots too. He was efficient on only 11.
Well, Chet's gonna have a problem, I think, this series because Jokic is just on offense, man. Is gonna tire him out. And I know they got Hartenstein, but
he's not the primary on him. Yeah, and I don't know. I just think Jokic isn't gonna do that every single night.
Yeah, he's not. The thing is, Jokic, he has to do it 3 more times, but like he could do it 3 more times, and his stat line be like 31, 18, and they might lose. Like he has to go those same exact numbers every
time. And
so he can still be incredible, go 32 and 22, and he still loses because he didn't get 42. Like,
Jamal Murray's gonna get locked up all series. He's gonna get Lou Dort and Caruso. He was like 6 of 16 yesterday. He had a decent.
He had 21 points on low efficiency because
and that's all you need. Like make him score, but you better get him well below 50%.
And it might be a good thing that Russell had. Might be a good thing Russell had 18 because now he thinks, shot.
And Aaron Gordon,
how that is. Russell, it's a little yo-yo.
Aaron Gordon, I'm trusting Aaron Gordon a little bit more now.
He is clutch, man.
Yeah.
He is so clutch because he's not even a pure shooter, but statistically this year he's increased his 3-point percentage to 44%.
There you go.
Last year, 29.
Wow.
So he put in the work in the offseason of increasing, and it's not like it's low, but it's not the highest volume. But he went from attempting 2 threes a game to 3.4 threes a game. So on 3.4 attempts at 44%, that's working hard in the offseason. So shout out to Aaron Gordon.
I think with all these series and including the one that's going to be going on tonight, I think we might be in tune for at least 6 games in all of these series. So that would be nice in the conference semis because in the conference finals I feel like it's a little bit more competitive. So we'll see how all this plays out. Like I said, I don't think there's panic from any of these teams that are down 0-1. But like I said, man, the playoffs sometimes can get tricky. And the teams we thought we're going to win, they don't end up winning. So make sure you guys are tuning into the NBA playoffs because that is what is king right now. Like I said, if you want to maybe watch or listen to hockey highlights, you can probably go look at that on ESPN. But
that Jets game.
Go ahead.
Let me just say this real quick, man. If you guys do, I'm going to show you this because this is probably one of the craziest things. The Winnipeg Jets, man, in Game 7, we're down 3. Canadian hockey team down 3-1 with 1:50 left in Game 7, and they tie the game up with 1.6 seconds to go. Force it, go to double overtime, and close it out at home in Game 7.
Like that is pretty impressive.
And I only know that because I saw the highlights. I didn't watch it, but
you guys got.
They were down 2 goals with a minute left. Dang.
Yeah. Playoff hockey is crazy. It's insane.
That is crazy.
I won't ever watch a regular season. I'll go to a regular season game, but I will never in person. But I'll never watch a regular season game. But yeah, playoff hockey. At least when I'm watching the highlights, it is pretty lit. So it just gets drowned out by the NBA because of course it's NBA.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, if you are into that, maybe you can check your local sports center or whoever your highlight person is. I don't know who it would be. House of Highlights, Bleacher
House of
Report, whatever.
Highlights,
Maybe
there
they have
you
it
go.
on there. But yeah, tune into that. But like I said, this is NBA show right now, and can't wait for the games that come down the pipe. So make sure you guys are tuned into our YouTube right now. We're doing it live. We normally put out videos, but sometimes we go live. Sometimes we put out videos. Quantro knows is where you can find it at. Tyson Talks _ for Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple for all of your needs in terms of audio and video. Make sure you give us a 5-star review so you guys can get in the algorithms. And for me, Zoo, and P. Bush, we are out.